I represented Mason McDuffie Mortgage Corporation, the world's largest mortgage banker. They had a vice president branch manager on a piece of company letterhead write out a $21 million loan commitment for a student apartment project over here in Tempe, Arizona, at the University of Arizona. I was hired to defend Mason McDuffie when it refused to honor that loan commitment because the branch manager wasn't authorized to make it. Mason McDuffie had not approved it. And I was working for their errors and omissions carrier in London, Lloyd's of London. I told them, I said, wait a minute here. He's a branch manager. He's a vice president. It's company letterhead. The $210,000 loan commitment fee was written out on a check to Mason McDuffie. He forged Mason McDuffie's signature on that and deposited it in his own account. You got a bad guy. You can't win this case. So we need to settle this case. Well, I talked to Lloyd's coverage counsel in Los Angeles, who had talked to somebody in New York, who'd talked to a solicitor in London, who would go to the coffee house and talk to the underwriting group, and it would come back and I'd say, no, you guys don't understand. You know, let me talk. I'll fly over to London and tell the investors in this loan in Mason McDuffie in the insurance that you need to settle. Well, they wouldn't settle. They wouldn't settle. This is an 8 or 9 week long jury trial. Everything went my way in that trial. The lawyer on the other side had it on a contingent fee. He was a personal injury lawyer. He doesn't understand the complexity of the loan commitments. He was so sure he was going to win this case, that he was condescending in the courtroom and the jury hated him. I knew I was going to lose it. So I was trying my best to salvage what there was. And then things started to happen in the courtroom that worked to my advantage. I tripped up their expert. I tripped up their broker. Their broker did something incredibly stupid because the branch manager, vice president, was of the San Diego office, not the Phoenix office of Mason McDuffie. And so when I said to him, well, why didn't you call the Phoenix office? He said, well, their name wasn't in the phone book. So I looked them up and knew they were in San Diego. I called that guy. So over the noon hour, I subpoenaed the librarian from the City of Phoenix Library and had her bring all the phone books for that year and 2 years either side, white pages and yellow pages. People today won't know what phone books are. Rolled them into the courtroom and said, okay, let's see if it's in the phone book. See, the guy said something, he lied. He shouldn't have said that because Mason McDuffie's name was in the phone book. It was in the yellow pages. It was in the white pages. And he said, well, I guess I made a mistake. I did not follow up on that because now the jury knew this guy was a liar. And that poisoned them against the other side. I got a unanimous verdict in that case in about 5 hours. The jury just hated the lawyer and his witnesses who weren't prepared and their sort of cavalier attitude, answering a simple question like, why didn't you call the Mason McDuffie office in Phoenix? Well, they weren't in the phone book. Give me a break. Things like that will hurt you. That's one of the things you have to do with your witnesses is prepare them for landmines And you say, don't bury that landmine ahead of yourself where you're about to step. So if you don't know it, don't say it. Don't interpolate, don't extrapolate, because you're burying the landmines that you may step on yourself.